everyone, welcome to Whisper the Mystery. A very warm welcome to all the new and existing subscribers. Welcome to the family. In today's reading, we're going to look into all about your future child. And there are three piles over here. This is the first pile, the blue flower. The second pile, the green flower. And the third pile, the red flower. So please take a moment, meditate on the cards and use your intuition to choose the pile. You could also pause the video to meditate on them. And when you're ready, we'll begin with the first pile, the blue flower. Welcome, pile one, all those who've chosen the blue flower. It's an honor for me to do a reading for you today. We're now going to look into all about your future child and see what comes up. So I'm going to pull out today one card at a time, all right? So first we have here Passion Ignited. So I must say, pile one, that while shuffling the cards, there were just so many thoughts running in my head. And I feel here, your child here would be someone who would have so many creative ideas going on in their mind. And they would just be so passionate about them. They would like to fulfill all of them. So it's not just, so I don't see like they would just have one interest. They could be having interest in many different areas. So for example, if they're in school, they would probably, have few subjects which they really love. After school, they could be someone who would love to play sports. They would love to go for any other extracurricular activities, maybe go for chess, maybe go for singing, dancing, anything. But they just have so many different other interests here. And their mind would just be thinking all the time. So if they notice something which they really like, they'll be very interested to pursue that. Okay, so yeah, I feel as if they're going to be extremely busy though. Okay, and I must say for you as well as a parent is, I know there could be many things which maybe you would want your child to do, but if you move them to the direction where they would like to go, that would be much more beneficial. Okay, next we have here milk and honey. Okay, so yes, they would be very, very abundant, right? And with abundant, I just don't mean here financially abundant, but I'm saying here more like, they would have many people around them who would truly care for them, truly love them. So abundant from all perspective, even being surrounded by love is an abundance in its own form. Many of us, even as, children, maybe felt like we didn't really have people around us who truly felt for us. Right? But here your child would not feel that. Your child would be surrounded by a lot of love in their lives. And this brings out a lot of confidence and positivity as well within them. Okay. Then we have the third eye chakra. Sorry. So this is very interesting because we have here the passion ignited, which is more that, whose feet is not someone whose feet is not on the ground. There's someone who feels like flying all the time, right? Because wherever they have the interest, it's just that deep desire. Oh, I want to learn this, I want to do this. So their feet is not really on the ground. But with the third eye chakra coming up, I feel like this is going to help your child to be very grounded. So your child is going to have a very, very strong intuition, definitely. Because even in the passion ignited here, you notice there is a lot of purple here, right? Which, in fact, I would like to move this next to here. Okay, so you would see a lot of relation over here. They both are purple. So your child would have a very, very strong intuition. At the same time, I'm also correlating this with the throat, and we have it the blue as well. So there is a lot here as well relating to their speech. So they would someone who would love talking. Okay, now with the intuition side though, I feel like they would not make a career out of the intuition, but the intuition is going to help them move on in their life. Okay, it's going to help them show the red flags in some areas of their life. So they should be encouraged quite a bit to trust their instinct and their intuition. I feel like their career in future would be a lot based on their passion. Okay, so they would not do things which are in the norm. They would do things which are quite extraordinary here, I'm sensing. But if they are interested in the spiritual development, definitely encourage them to meditate or to do any other forms of spiritual development activity. For example, if your child lands up being interested in tarot card reading, they would use that for their own personal development, or for helping their near and dear ones, but not making a career out of it. So it is going to help them in their life. So I'm also sensing from here that it could be someone who's a very, very old soul. All right. So you notice in them very young that they're probably someone who understand things from a very deep level. And that's another reason why they would have many desires and passion, because they know it is one and only life and they want to enjoy it to the fullest. Okay. Next, we have here the Eight of Pentacles. So with the Eight of Pentacles, they would be very hardworking. You would notice this from them in a very young age, all right? Especially if they have so many desires, you would not see them just sitting still. You would not. You would see them always doing so many different things, so many different activities, and they would enjoy it so much. They would love doing it. And I feel like the older they grow as well, they're not going to enjoy sleeping that much. They would like to be awake and kind of, you know, fulfilling their passion, doing different things. They'll be so excited. I'm seeing here a lot of enthusiasm within them. And like I said, again, if they're following their heart, if they're doing what they truly love, oh God, I've got no words for it. They would be extremely excited and passionate about it. Next, we have here vanity. Okay, so with vanity, as I said in the beginning, that they would be probably surrounded by people who would truly treasure them, truly love them, and make them feel very supported here. And I feel like a lot of their friends as well would be looking up to them. So because of the strong intuition here, they're able to guide other people. So they would turn out to have some leadership qualities out there within them. Okay, I'm sensing here, like, as I said, old soul. And this is so interesting because here, this person here looks quite old. So this makes complete sense here, where your where your child here is like an old soul. And with person, oh my God, so some of your child here could have, if you feel your person, your partner is an old soul, I feel like your child would have a lot of qualities of them. That is only if your partner is an old soul, okay? But here I'm sensing here, your child would be someone who would be very wise for their age. And I know as a child, maybe you wouldn't listen to them, but when they grow up, you would realize that, yes, they are extremely wise for their age. And there would be many people here who would love to listen to their advice because they would be saying things here right from their heart, right from their intuition here. Okay, and we have here the Five of Cups. So there is a lot of sensitivity as well here within this person. Your child would... I feel here, because your child is so sensitive, they kind of take things a little bit more to heart, because they would be seeing things which everyone would not be able to. And what I mean by this, for example, they would be able to see the true picture of some person, true color of some person, which maybe you would not be able to unless you're equally sensitive here, okay? And so your child here has a tendency to be very quickly hurt. So if they're sensitive about something, if they're hurt about something, probably be best for you to listen to them and to understand why they're feeling hurt, why they're feeling bad, because they are probably seeing here something which other people are missing out, okay? But because they're sensitive, I feel like they would take some time to kind of overcome on things. So if they're emotionally hurt, they would take some time to come out of it here. So when they're happy, they're kind of like on cloud nine, but when they are upset or depressed about something, it really drains them out. So it's going to be very easy for you though to kind of see if they're happy or not. It will just reflect on their face immediately. They're quite transparent from that point of view. But I'm seeing a very emotional side to them as well. And wow, interestingly, next to it we have joy. So like I said, they kind of have the extreme. So you might notice quite a lot of mood swings here within a child, and it's only because they're sensitive. They probably would be turn out to be empaths as well, who are able to feel other people's emotions out there. So when they're happy, they will be so happy. But when they're upset, when something has hurt them, something is pulling down, they would find it very difficult to come out of it. And that's when the spirituality side of them is going to help them. It's going to help them to come out of this, situation. And it's going to help them to understand that when things are good, do not fly too high, and when things are bad, do not go too low. You need to try to maintain this balance. So this balance is something which they would be missing in the initial formative years, I'm sensing. So you would see this extreme behavior of theirs where they'll be jumping one side, next moment they're probably sitting and sulking, okay? So it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of understand them emotionally. So it's probably for you to kind of help them in this, to make a balance. And I feel like as they grow older, they are going to understand this balance, and I'll show you that in a bit. But the next card here we have is the Queen of Pentacles. So as I said, that your child here would be making a career out of their passion, all right? Now, they would be very, very hardworking, and their hard work here, I'm saying, is going to pay them off. And a lot of them, I feel, would go to the direction of being more self-employed. I don't feel like they would be able to work very well under other people because of their leadership qualities over here. So they would do more well if they are, doing things for themselves, or even if they're working in a corporate environment, or if they're working for someone. If they do have a side hustle which is bringing them income as well, that will also help them to balance it out. But they definitely need here to do something for themselves, right? It's a very self sort of energy over here. But once they gain that, I feel like whatever they are doing is going to be of a lot of benefits as well to the world and to the people around them. And last, we have your image number 50, which I was talking about, and it kind of strikes a good balance here with the 5 of Cups. So this again is showing someone who's very emotional. We have the mermaid, we have water around it, but the beautiful part is here, I'm seeing here a lot of butterflies. So I'm seeing here a lot of transformation being made. So your child here is going to transform as they grow older, right? So where initially they don't know how to handle their emotions, right? As they grow older, they are going to learn how to beautifully accept them and to mature and grow in it. So yes, they're all souls, but they're even children, okay? So that's the reason why it's like, although they understand, so they would be absorbing, along with absorbing positivity, they would be also have the capability to absorb a lot of negativity, okay? Or a lot of pain as well. And that's the reason why they really need to transform, to understand like they're not supposed to absorb it. So here is this beautiful, if you've seen this figure, is someone where there is a bubble here around it. So that's what your child would be learning, is to create this bubble around them where yes, there would be happiness and sorrow surrounding their lives or be in their lives, but it should not emotionally affect them or drain them down. So they would learn to live with it and to transform and grow in that situation. So there's a lot of growth here I'm sensing within your child. All right, Pawan, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I am offering a personal tarot reading, soul reading, relationship coaching. If you're interested in any of the services, you can email me. My email address is mentioned in the description below. You can also follow me on Instagram called monica.whisperthemystery, or follow my podcast, that is Relationship Mirror. All right, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Goodbye. Welcome, pal, to All Dots of Jewels and the Green Flower. It's an honor for me to do a reading for you today. We're now going to look into all about your future child and see what comes up. And I'm going to pull the card one at a time. So first we have the throat chakra. How beautiful is that? So with the throat chakra here, definitely it means that your child will be someone... Sorry, pal, too, I seem to have got interrupted by a call. So it's weird because I had a sense as well from the throat chakra. So normally this would mean someone with a very beautiful communication skills who would be very expressive here. But here I'm sensing that, yes, there is a lot of desire here for your child to express themselves. But I feel like they would be suppressing themselves. So you would notice as well in their speech where, they would say something and maybe stop, maybe think that, don't know if I should say this or not. That sort of energy, or maybe they would be that sort of thing, because there's so many things running in the head. And this is one thing which I feel you would notice. So it could be where either they would be lacking the confidence here to be able to express themselves without any judgment. And the moments they feel calm and secure, where they'll be able to safely and openly express themselves, that's when you'll be able to see the beauty of it. So it's something I feel you can encourage your child, because they have a lot of desire out here, I'm sensing, to really, really, speak up. And you would notice when they would be able to express themselves more probably when they're writing something, right? Because they're not actually being so much interrupted with their thoughts, and they're able to filter it properly and write it down. So you would notice they'll be very, very, I think more than well spoken. They'd be someone who would write extremely well, okay? And then we have here, all right, never ending story. So yeah, I feel here there is something which maybe, something which has hurt them, or something where, if someone, for example, if they ever went on stage and maybe somebody would have commented something and this would have touched them, and that's the reason why they were probably not feeling very safe to express themselves. Or maybe when they did, it actually backfired in some way. Sometimes when we actually do say things, even to our parents, right, they'd be like, oh, that's silly, just, move on, don't say this or don't say that. So it's something here, I feel like that's the reason your child would be very, they would be someone who would think a lot before they speak and behave, because they would not want to hurt someone else because of probably something which has backfired, and maybe they don't feel particularly secured here in expressing themselves. So they would just keep it, I'm feeling here, within their heart. It would be because of some experience here which they've had, all right? But, okay, we have your Princess of Swords. But I feel, like I said here, with the transformation here which would happen, I'm seeing that this can be changed, because your child there loves talking. They would really love expressing themselves. And you would notice that the things they have to say are actually pal too. Okay, I get it. So, there is, I'm sensing it, a filter is kind of missing. So your child initially especially would kind of say things which are the facts, okay? Because here I'm seeing someone here who is expressing themselves, but here there is pile two. This is actually the Queen of, the Princess of Wands energy here. Yeah, okay. So the desire which your person has, your child, would have of communication here, okay? This would be like a burning desire here within them, because they have so much to say, they have so much to express themselves. And if they love writing, seriously ask them to pursue it further, because they need to vent things out, right? Because they realize it very quickly in life that they are not allowed to say certain things, they're not allowed to behave in a certain manner, and they find this really difficult because they have so much to say, they have so much to give to the world from that perspective, right? So this is going to be a very, very strong passion for them to kind of express themselves. So they would be as well someone who probably would be very interested in having their own YouTube channel, being an Instagram star, being a public figure, that sort of child, all right? And from a very, very young age, you would see their interest. They would just love it. They would love to be the center of attention here, I'm sensing. Okay, and because they would love to express themselves. So in real life, yes, maybe they would have restrictions here, but when it comes to social media, they do not have any restrictions. So they would express themselves exactly the way they would like to. So I feel like for a lot of them, they would land up being social media figures, okay? And then we have here perception, right? So this is the perception. They would, when they move around in life, okay, I feel like I'm getting a sense that there is like a closed door here behind, okay? And your child would have so many desires, but I feel like they are trying to move as per the norm of society. Okay, but behind the scenes, they have a lot of fantasies here. So, for example, there could be someone who, what example can I give? I'm just trying to think of it. So, I was thinking of UFO, but to be fair, many people truly, truly believe in it. So that's a completely different situation. Okay, for example, like animated characters, right? So they would be someone who would love watching animated characters, maybe even drawing them out. And just, they're so interested in the sci-fi fantasy world here. But in the real world, we tell them that no, they are animated characters. They do not exist. Okay, so they would pretend like, okay, that's the reality of life, but behind closed doors, they would probably dress up like the superhero, they would sketch them out, they would draw them, so they would still have that part of their life, which they would express it here, Okay, so because they have to express it some way or the other, if the other people do not want to listen, it's not their fault, is it? Right? And you know what? It actually, you might be surprised where going forward in life, this actually is something which turns out to be very, very beautiful. For example, they could land up to be someone who sketches animated characters really well. Okay, so there is a side to them which you are not going to see or notice until they grow up a bit. That's when you'll realize, because when you're young, I feel like you would not be able to understand them, or you would not be able to understand that why are they thinking so much before talking. Come on, just say it. So there are hidden reasons behind that, but you probably wouldn't notice that initially. Okay, then we have here the sacral chakra. Okay, so with the sacral chakra, they are, I feel, a lot based on the materialistic world. Okay, they would love it. So I'm not seeing them as someone who would be innately on the spiritual side. They would be someone who is here and now. All right, so I'm sensing from this as well, they would love shopping, they would love their new clothes, they would love their hair to be made. And even with the Queen of Wands here, they just would love, okay, like maybe getting a new car. They would get, it would make them really excited. So physical pleasures of life would give them a lot of happiness here, I'm sensing. Okay, they don't really deal very well with emotions, so even that, they would not talk about it, they would not express it, they would just vent it out in a completely different way. Okay, and then we have here the Devil card. Yeah, so the Devil itself in its way. I don't know why I'm following here the sunlight, I feel over here. Anyways, so with the Devil card here, I'm sensing that, again, it's put next to the second chakra. So yeah, I'm sensing fame. I don't know why. Fame would be very important here for your child. Like I said, they would like to be the center of attraction here. Now, there is a lot of desire here for your child to be able to succeed in life, be that powerhouse figure. Okay, so I feel like in their initial years, you would think them to be quite shy, right? So I feel like you'll not be able to see them as a whole completely when they're young. It's only when they grow up would you start noticing who they truly are. Okay, it's kind of, you would feel like they've come out from the closet, that sort of thing. So when they're young, you could see your child to be very shy, not able to express themselves, or maybe they would need you all the time. That's the type of energy here. And suddenly one day, for example, when they're a couple of years old, you would notice that, oh my God, they have a YouTube channel. How did they do that? Or see them on Instagram that, whoa, they have like 50,000 followers. How did that happen? That sort of thing. So there is a lot of desire here for a child to be known, to be seen, to be appreciated here. But they would initially do it quietly, I feel. And later on, right, they would come out of the closet, especially here with the cardio facade. I'm saying like they would come out from their closet, and then you are going to see a completely different view of them, which you did not know, right? And you might see them as well, maybe, you know, when they were with you, they would just dress up casual, but for the cameras, they would dress up extremely well. So they would really look after themselves, really try to look good. So it's that sort. It would be like someone who would like to be like a famous personality. Okay. And the reason I feel like you would not notice, because maybe they would have never spoken about this. So that's the reason why you would not know that this is what their deep desires are. So again, they could be like behind closed doors, they are dancing or performing on the famous artists and trying to look like them, behave like them. Okay. And oh wow, look here, image number 43. So can you see here this person, the way they look into a mirror, and their photographs as well. So your child here, pal 2, really has a lot of tendency here to be quite well known and quite famous here, I'm sensing. Okay, and the only reason is because they would not openly say that, Mom, Dad, put me for a dance class, you know, they wouldn't be that sort. So it's quite contradictory to pile 1 here. But can you see here, there are mirrors everywhere. So they would love to dress up, love the way they look, love making their hair here. They would really be quite obsessed with themselves. Okay, they really would be here, because this again is someone who's putting photographs all over for themselves. And so, yeah, they would really look after themselves. They would love the way they look, carry themselves really well. And yeah, they would just love it. And that's why I said it's because they're more here and now, because more than looking at a person's soul, they would, you know, be looking at how a person is dressed. And make their perceptions here based on how things look, okay? So they would be someone here who would make their perception on how someone or something is looking, right? And not based on their feelings for them. So that's the reason I'm also feeling like your child would have a very good observant skills, and they would have a eye for beauty. So there would be someone who would love to not just look after themselves, but even their room, you would notice, would be very beautiful, very organized, and they just love everything to be in place and just look beautiful. And I just felt this from the perception card, where it's such a beautiful card here. And even here, so they love luxury. They would love all this, fine aesthetics of life here. All right, pile 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I am offering a personal tarot reading, soul reading, relationship coaching. If you're interested in any of the services, you could email me. My email address is mentioned in the description below. You can also follow me on Instagram called monica.whisperthemystery, and also listen to my podcast called Relationship Mirror. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Goodbye. Welcome, pile 3. All those have chosen the red flower. It's an honor for me to do a reading for you today. We're now going to look into all about your future child, and I'll pull out the cards one at a time. So first we have your light. Wow, and the light is also considered like the sun card, and I'm also just so much sun rays is falling here. Apologies for that, but I hope you're enjoying it, pile 3. So it's beautiful because we have a light card here, and here as well the sun is falling all over it. So I'm seeing your child to be a very, very happy, optimistic child, okay? It's like they spread a lot of happiness. They would love that. So whenever they go around, and if they feel like someone is upset or depressed, they would probably be, go and give them a hug, just make them feel happy again. So there is a lot of joy here for some reason surrounding your child. So, some children, whenever you look at them and talk to them, it makes you feel happy. That's the type of energy here I'm sensing for your child, is very easily they can make another person extremely happy. And sometimes they do it knowingly as well. I think they kind of recognize this to be their power eventually, that they're able to give a lot of happiness there to someone else. And in future, I feel they kind of would use this as a skill, where if they know someone is upset, they would go and talk to them and hug them. I keep saying hug them. I just feel like they would love that physical touch of, hugging, kissing. They would just love all that. It's beautiful. Okay, and next to it, we have deception and envy. Okay, so as much as they spread happiness and they're very happy child and spreading all that light here, we do have deception and envy next to it. So there would be a part of your child which at times could make them feel very jealous. So for example, if they are the one spreading all the light and happiness, and suddenly another child comes in who overshadows, I don't think your child would be particularly happy with that. So yeah, this is one thing of them which is really, really standing strong here, is that there could be a lot of jealousy here within your child. All right. And it's because maybe because your child would be receiving a lot of attention and they're used to it, okay? Or maybe they're not particularly used to sharing, but there is something here where they would be very strong. They would be talented in a lot of things, all right? And that's the reason. They are someone as well probably who would stand out quite a lot. So at times when they do not, or if someone else takes their position, I feel that's going to be kind of difficult for your child to accept, okay? Then we have time to go. Okay. Your child, pile 3, is not going to be someone who would have a lot of attachments. They would understand very quickly, or it's just not for them to understand as well, is that's how they are, okay? It's someone, who spreads happiness, love, and moves on. That's the type of person, okay? They are not someone to stick around for too long. So they would have, for example, many friends, and they would have close friends. They would treat them, maybe their other friends would treat them as someone, as their best friend, or, they could be someone's only friend. But for them, they could be having many friends. So if one is not there, there's another one. They detach very, very quickly here, which is good, because this also means that when they do have this jealousy feeling, they move on from that as well pretty quickly. So whether it's good or bad, they do not carry it within them for too long, right? They move on, which is nice. So that's the reason why you're not going to see them, being extremely happy for too long or being too depressed for too long. That's not them. Okay, then we have here the King of Cups. So, yep, with the time to go, like I said, there would be someone who is not very emotionally attached. They move on quickly here. And then we have the King of Cups, which is like, the master of emotions. With the King of Cups, so if you notice here, this is the king, who although is a King of Cups, you would imagine them to have a lot of emotions, being submersed in emotions, but no, that is the Page of Cups. With the King of Cups, he is surrounded by water, but his foot here is on the ground because he has learned detachment. Okay, yes, he is emotionally mature, and being emotionally matured means not submersing yourself here in the water, but it's actually knowing that yes, there is this emotional side to me, but there should be some balance with practicality as well. So it's a form of balance here, which this person has learned. So that's how your child is going to be, pile 3, is they're going to learn to balance themselves emotionally. If, for example, they're in a relationship and say, they've been cheated upon, or the other person has not treated them well, they would hold their self-respect and move on and would not even think twice about it, right? They would be very, very loyal here, because in this King of Cups card, we see a dog over here. So yes, they would be someone very loyal, but if someone betrays their loyalty here, they would not think about it. They would just cut off, detach, and move on. That's them. Okay. Then we have completion, exactly, ending of a cycle, moving on. So there is something here about your child, pile 3, where they just do not attach too much. They kind of detach and just move on pretty quickly. Now, you might be worried about it. We're thinking that, why is my child a little bit like this, cold? Like, for example, if they had a best friend and the best friend moved across countries or cities, but yeah, they missed them for a few days, but not too much. And you'd be like, why? But that's because your child would be more practical, and they'd be like, well, he's away. We can still keep in touch over the phone. It's nothing to cry about. Or as I gave the explanation previously about relationship, if, they do get matured and get hurt by any chance, they would be like, well, it's their loss, not mine. That sort of, emotions here. So it's actually really good, because they know how to end the cycle and move on and not be stuck in it. Okay, and we have your perseverance. So if your child, right, because like I said, they kind of ace quite a lot in so many things. They're quite well-rounded, well-groomed. If it's something where they feel there is a lot of potential in it, that is something which they're going to stick by it. And they will be very, very stubborn about that. Okay. So, when I gave example of the relationship in the beginning, if they feel that, no, this is the person for me, and I know we will be extremely happy together, they would try their best to bring that person back. So whatever they run after actually would be something where it really, really, really means a lot to them. If they're not running behind something, well, yeah, it's maybe they feel it's not going to be of much need to them. They're quite practical from that sense, okay? But if something which they are really running behind, or they are just, not giving up on, is something because their whole heart and soul feels like this is for them and it's needed for them. Okay, then we have your Princess of Wands. Absolutely. So it's their passionate side. There is a lot of orange here, if you notice, right? Orange is kind of related to the second chakra over here. So which kind of relates more to your sexuality, to your physicality and money, all those sort of things, right? So that's why I feel like from all that perspective here, your child, if they do have a desire here, which they feel would be very beneficial for them, they are not going to give up. They would be there and going on for it here. I must say though that with the 19 card here, the light card here, the sun card there, your child would be excelling quite a lot, right, in different areas. For example, when they're a child in school, they could be, you know, the cream of children out there performing really well. They could be someone doing really good in sports. And even when it comes to relationship here, I somehow feel like they would find someone with whom they're going to fall very, very, very deeply in love with. So for them, it's like, it's all or nothing. That's the type of thing for them. Okay, it's a very scorpionic energy here I'm sensing. I don't know why. More like a scorpion vibe here I'm getting. But that's how it is for a lot of scorpions as well. It's all or nothing. And last, we have your image number 29. Wow. This, again, if you see carefully, we have a snake here, right? Which I'm connecting it a lot to. This is more like the devil card kind of in a bit. But here I'm kind of dealing with a lot of envy and jealousness here. So it would be difficult for them if, well, I hope never happens, but if they like someone and that person is enjoying themselves with someone else, they would not be able to take it, okay? Things which they love, which they're possessive about, they would want it all for themselves. So for example, if, so for them, like, if they have a sibling, okay, for example, there are few siblings out here, and if the sibling they like is liked by another sibling as well, it's going to be very difficult for them. There is a lot of jealousy here, okay, within the child. And so for them as well, for their parents, maybe they would, you know, if the parent would give more love to the other sibling, oh God, it's very, very difficult for them to digest this, okay? So people or things which they love, they would want that all for themselves, and they would find it very difficult to share that person or thing here with someone else, okay? And yeah, that's how I'm feeling for it. So this is something which they would need to work on, or maybe you can help them to work on, is to curb their jealousy feelings. That would make their life much more easier. Although they, you know, like I said, move on very easily, but it's for all the things who really did not matter to them that much, not 110%, right? So for example, parents would matter to them 110%, right? So for them, if they see their parents sharing their love for them, it's going to make them crazy, okay? But for example, if their common friend here has another common friend, nah, they wouldn't care. They would just move on. So things which are not very, very important for them, they would just cut off very easily. But if you do matter to them, then yeah, it's very difficult here. All right, pal tree, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I am offering a personal tarot reading, soul reading, and relationship coaching. If you're interested in any of the services, you could email me. My email address is mentioned in the description below. You can also follow me on Instagram called monica.whisperthemystery, or listen to my podcast called Relationship Mirror. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Goodbye.